This lecture, Bezrat Hashem, לישועה ונחמה of ליליאן בת לורה, לרפואת טליה בת לאה, להבדיל לעילוי נשמת מיכאל מישי בן גרשום, לעילוי נשמת מונירה בת חנה, for safe protection for all these soldiers that are battling now in Gaza, יובל יצחק בן אמירה, רועי בן שירה, דניאל בן יהודית חנה וישי, נדב בן נווה, רועי בן עינת, ברוק, אורי צבי, אורי או אורי צבי בן שרה פרומט, הלל חי בן שרה פרומט, מתניה בן מירב וחנניה, אורי צבי בן שרה פרומט. טוב. Bezrat Hashem, Hashem will keep them safe and all the other soldiers. Yesterday, I spoke in Queens about Parshat Vayera. There's so many things to talk about, the time ran out after 2.5 hours. The end of the lecture, I started to explain the difference between Satmer and Neturei Karta. Those wicked traders that you see in the demonstrations, look Hasidish, putting Palestinian flag, and they're not Satmer. Satmer threw them out many years ago. They're becoming more and more extreme, and they sold their soul to the devil, these wicked people. They get millions of dollars from Iran and from the Palestinian Authority. Arafat, Imach Shimo, used to give them large checks because there's nothing better for the anti-Semite goyim to have Jewish traders do the job for them. They don't have to do anything, just to point. Look, even they are with us. Unfortunately, you don't need the Neturei Karta to betray us. We have so many lefty liberals that are literally the enemies of the Jewish nation. They brought on us all the tragedy that you see. They cooperate with Gaza from inside. They give them secrets. They give them job permits. They bring them in. They bring them into Jewish hospitals. Yesterday I explained that the head of the HAMAS, the one who actually behind everything, he is the general, was about to die. He had few weeks to live in Israeli jail, and we saved his life. Israeli doctors cleaned the cancer from his filthy head. Instead of choking him to death, they actually cured his head and then released him on a terrible deal about these Gilad Shalit soldiers that they released 1,027 murderers. They took one Israeli prisoner and they released 1,027 monsters, the kind of burning children and chopping the head off. This kind of monster, 1,027. Instead of execute them, should be an execution, an immediate execution for terrorists. Immediate, meaning from the minute you catch them, within a week they have to be dead already. There's no point of feeding them or giving them medical treatment or any kind of rights. These people are not people, and therefore people deserve rights. Monster, Nazis, people who rape kids, people that chop their heads off, people that poke people's eyes while they still are alive, people like this don't deserve to breathe a second. And every person that have mercy on these people is almost as bad as them. Almost as bad. It's no joke. Having mercy on Adolf Hitler shows exactly who you are. Having mercy on any one of these monsters, which is just as bad as every Nazi you can imagine, that means you sympathize with monsters and you have zero mercy on their victims. And it doesn't matter if the victims are Jewish, or blacks, or Arabs, or European. It really doesn't matter. People are people, and anyone who tortures people because of racism and stuff like that, people like this don't deserve to live. You don't put them in jail 10, 15 years and then release them with an exchange of prisoners and let them go back to murder another 1,000 people. It's simple, stupid. So they released this Sinwar Imach Shimo, and now we have 1,400 dead and 240 kidnapped. all of the results of the stupid Israeli liberals who actually destroyed Israel from inside. I don't think they can be fixed. The damage they made, it cannot be reversed. We just really, really need Hashem to have a huge mercy on us to try to save what we can, because the boat is totally drowning. And I want to tell you something today. You know, now with in a war, everyone becomes religious. In a hospital, in a cancer department, everyone becomes religious. Go to York Avenue, Sloan Kettering, go into the cancer department, walk next to the people who are fighting for their life. Put a black hat, like a rabbi, and walk nearby and see what will happen. I did it. I can tell you from experience. Every Jew or non-Jew would beg you to come, bless him, pray for him. Rabbi, please bless my father. Non-Jews. Non-Jews, bichlal. What do I have to do with you? I'm not from your religion. Doesn't matter. Anything that can help right now, it's only God. So in a hospital, a lot of these atheists, once they ended up there, they remember there is a God. Unfortunately, they woke up a little bit too late for them, most of the time. And then in a battle, in a war, in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., you have to go into a building. Under a hospital, you have thousands of terrorists hiding over there. A city, tunnels, everything there, tons of weapons. One mistake and the whole place can blow up and kill who knows how many people. And you don't know if you're going to come out. You don't know what booby traps they put there. You don't know what cameras they have. As soon as you come, they shoot some RPG. You don't know. What happened? You become religious that minute. Better than 100 seminars. Better than lectures, better than anything. You begin to talk to God maybe for the first time in your life. So, so a lot of the generals now, since the army has a lot of religious people now, more than ever before, because all the Zionists needed Yamaka, Zionim, the army for them is the second God. They have Hashem, and almost in the same level, the Israeli army. They admire the army, they're willing to die for the army. For them, the army is above everything. If you ask most of them, what would you prefer? That your son will be a Rosh Yeshiva, teach Gemara, teach Halacha, be a huge Talmid Chacham, or an Avrech, even an Avrech, not Rosh Yeshiva. Learn Torah all his life with Amal Torah and holiness, or he will be an Israeli jet pilot, fly F-16, fly F-35. What would you want? 99% of them with no hesitation would say, I want him to be a jet pilot. Better, in their eyes, it's better than Rosh Yeshiva. Better than Avrech. Why? Their ideology is totally twisted. However, no one is perfect. We also have issues. They have a lot of good things about them. They love the Holy Land. They settle themselves in a very dangerous areas because they knew if they won't do it, then these filthy Hamas murderers will take over Israel. One step, and another step, and another step, until the next thing, they're in Tel Aviv already, or Jerusalem, everywhere. So they are actually the shield that will be able to land in Israel and go to places. Without them, I don't know if we would have Israel. So we owe them a lot of gratitude, especially when they risk their life in the army. They poison very hard for the army. They become generals. They very powerful. They influence their soldiers. And they made slowly a revolution in different units in the army. When even secular soldiers scream the name of Hashem, which never happened before in their life. Now they are in reserve. He's 30 years old. He comes now. They're getting ready to go to the battle. The general, which has a yarmulke, he screams, let's all accept the kingdom of Hashem on us before we go to the war, and have in mind that we're fighting for Hashem and for the Torah and for the Holy Land. Secular atheists, they all scream, Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Shema Israel. Why am I telling you all of this? Now comes the punchline. The Israeli Attorney General, Shem Reshaim Yirkav, a lefty trader, the damage she made to Israel is beyond words. There's no words to describe the damage. She announced that the Attorney General office is keeping all the videos of all the generals in the army who spoke about religion, that they should prosecute them immediately when the war is over, because they broke the law. What's the law? Hadata. You're not allowed to talk to another Jew and try to influence him to become religious. And then you are wondering why the Arabs are torturing and butchering us so much. By the Arab, they will prosecute someone who speaks about God? Or tell you to become more religious? Who would dare to open his mouth against God in any Arab country? Do you know anyone? They have a fake religion and they're willing to die for it. It's not from God bichlal, completely off, full of human errors, full of mistakes. Spit to the Quran, they'll burn you for years. They'll never forget you. What's his name? Salman Rushdie, one of them, Muslim, spoke against Muhammad. He called the Islam the verses of the devil, Psukei Satan. 25 years they searched for him. He lived under the ground with bodyguards until one time he came out. That day they came, they took acid, spilled in his face. They made him, I think, blind, or one of his ears became deaf and almost died. They'll never forget. You insult the religion, you insult Muhammad, you insult anything that they admire, they will never forgive you after 50 years. Why? They're very zealous about their fake religion. And we that have the original divine book of God, half of us are traders. They can't even hear it. They can't look at it. You tell them, come, kiss the Torah. I don't believe in these things. Don't tell me what to do. So now they're going crazy now when they see thousands of secular soldiers put tzitziot, screaming Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach. They don't sleep at night, these lefty liberal traders. Every one of them is Bernie Sanders and more. Imagine Bernie Sanders. You have 500,000 Bernie Sanders running Israel right now. 500,000. They run every office. They're in top of every pyramid. In hospitals, in the army, in the police, in an attorney general, in the courtrooms, newspaper, media, in the government. Some people tell me, maybe we needed this tragedy because a lot of the lefties now speak completely different than 2 months ago. A lot of these lefties that used to fight for the Arabs so much, demonstrate for Palestinians, they say we cannot afford not to wipe Gaza. We cannot leave one building standing. The extreme lefties. So they tell me now, the lefties are opening their eyes after what happened to them. Many of these kibbutzim were all extreme left. The Arabs kidnap and rape them and torture them and kill them. Most of the people that got hurt in this attack are lefties. At least 80%. But the real lefties, mamash the Bernie Sanders type. And now they talk different. After they kill their children, their brothers, their sisters, they feel the pain. So now they are very much against HAMAS. Just 2 months ago, they're willing to die for the HAMAS. So one person, naive, he told me, maybe that finally is going to make a revolution in the opinion of the majority of Israel. In the next election, maybe we're going to have 70-80% normal people voting for a good government. I told him, you're dreaming. 2 weeks after the war, they'll go back to bark against us and run to kiss up to these murderers. We want to help you, Ahmed. That's what's going to happen. Make no mistake. There is one Persian guy, he used to be at 8200 unit. You know what's 8200? 8200. 8200, it's like a CIA unit. They spy on people, they listen to conversation, they follow Ahmadinejad, they follow Iranian generals. They have their technology. They're spying on people. And obviously a lot of the people who works there are Persian Jews who came from Iran, speak fluent Farsi. So they help them to understand what the terrorists in Iran are planning for us. One of them, his name is Eliyahu Yosian. Young, bald guy. Maybe you saw his videos. Speak with the Persian accent because he was born in Iran. And now he became a guest in many of the shows, interviews. He said there's no such thing civilians in Gaza. Everyone there is a terrorist. From age 0, they train them to be murderers, and their dream is to murder Jews. From very young age, 3. They're already, my dream is to kill Jews. So from a very young age, everyone is a terrorist. And when they kill Jews, they all dance, they give candy, they come to the street. When they kidnap the Jews, you saw thousands of them were beating them up. Every one of them is Hamas. There's no such thing, Hamas and civilians. There's just old women, they can fight. But they have the same ideology. You ask them, you want the Hamas to torture and rape Jews and burn them alive? Of course. You won't find 1 out of 1,000 that say no. Guarantee. I stand behind what I say. Guarantee. 2.5 million people in Gaza, each one of them is an extreme Nazi. Almost each one of them. There's some exception to the rules, but mamash very little. So this Yosian knows the Iranian, knows Gaza, he listens, he knows who they are. So he says it openly, brave guy. So one guy told me yesterday, I have a feeling Yosian in the next election will already be a minister in a Knesset. I told him, you are dreaming. You are over-optimistic. I give him maximum 1 to 2 weeks until they chop his wings and chop his head off, the lefties. Just give them another week to realize who they're dealing with. They're going to keep him quiet for the rest of his life. So what do you mean? Everyone they don't like, they begin to investigate about him. They find one thing, they threaten him. Hey, Yosian, we know what you did this, we know what you did that. We know about you. We have your pictures from your phone. If you want to align your ideology with our lefty ideology, you're done. We're going to publish everything we know about you. Or they sometimes threaten you that they press charges. And you know you can't win against them because they control the court, they control everything. So I told the guy, I give him maximum 1 to 2 weeks. 2 hours later, 2 hours, not 2 weeks. 2 hours later, a headline. Eliyahu Yosian spoke to hundreds of soldiers. And the general, in the middle of the speech, grabbed him from the stage and kicked him out. Why? Because he said all the people of Gaza are terrorists. There's no difference between civilians and terrorists. After what the general saw, he still preferred to be on the side of them and not on the side of his Jewish people. Things like that, it's called ErevRav. ErevRav. It's very interesting because the Gaon Vilna said that in the end of days, when Mashiach, before Mashiach come, there will be a nation that is mixed with Amalek, and we see what they do. They do the things of Amalek. A nation that is mixed with Amalek, this Palestinian, and the ErevRav of the Jews are also a part of Amalek. Now you understand why they love each other so much. Why they help each other so much. Why they care so much if some Palestinian terrorist just got a bomb on his head. They don't sleep at night, they cry. They come to comfort the parents of the murderers. Ahmed, it's all because of the occupation. Occupation? Do you think the Palestinian wants to kill all Jews because of the occupation? They killed 86 Jews in Hebron 30 years before there was an Israeli state. There was no Israel. They just went and murdered the Jews. They murdering Jews all over the world. They kidnapping planes all over the world way before Israel was a state. hundreds of years they're killing Jews. Muhammad already killed Jews in Saudi Arabia, came to a city and killed everyone. It's nothing to do with the state of Israel. Nothing to do with that. Way before they were already killing Jews. And even if Israel will give them now the state, they say, okay, we give up. We move to the United States. What do you think they're going to do? Continue to search for Jews to kill them. Why? That's their job in the world. That's their job. That's the only reason they are alive. Hashem keep them alive to torture us. I know it's hard to hear it, but it's not my opinion. It's written in a Zohar and it's written in a Gemara. It's written inside. Every time we go off the path, Hashem trigger them to come do something. Again and again and again and again. Close the door, please. So, Rabotai, now all these hero generals who jeopardize their life to protect this lefty that sits in Tel Aviv in their penthouse, enjoying music and a steak with a glass of wine, these generals who speak for the sake of God and for the sake of saving Israel from those monsters are waiting for prosecution. When they come back from the war, they're gonna press charges against every time they give a speech and mention God, because it's against the law in Israel to speak about God and to inspire people. It's called, they have a word for it, hadata. Hadata means making people religious. It's against the law in Israel. It's not against the law in the United States. It's not against the law in any country in the world. It's against the law in the land of the chosen people that were occupied by traders from the ErevRav, who all they want is to destroy the Torah and any connection to God. That's their life. That's all they want to do. What can I say? What can I say? There's no way we can come out of their control. Because it's written in the Zohar, באחרית הימים ישלטו בארץ צאצאי הערב-רב. The children of the Egyptians that Moshe took out of Egypt, without consulting with Hashem, they will torture the Jewish people every generation and generation, and in the end of days, before the end, now, אחרית הימים, they will cause the biggest harm. The biggest. And there are signs. Who are these ErevRav? One of the signs, they hate rabbis. They hate religion. They hate prayers. They hate modesty. Basically, everything God loves, they hate. Everything God hates, they love. That's how you know who's an ErevRav. Not every secular Jew, Israeli, American, European, is a ErevRav. No. Some secular people believe there is a God. Even respect the religion. They just don't want to change because they love their desires too much. They love to do things on Shabbat. They want to drive a car. They want to watch not modest movies. They want to take advantage on customers in their business. They want to dress not modest on the street. They want to eat whatever they like. They don't want anyone to tell them what's kosher and what's not. They want to do basically whatever their desire call for. But if you ask them, do you love God or you hate Him? They would say, of course I love Him. So why don't you listen to Him? Why every day of your life is rebelling against God? He say not to eat this, you eat. Not to break Shabbat, you break. Not to steal, you steal. Not to speak Lashon Hara, you speak. Not to marry non-Jews, you marry. Not to be gay, you are gay. Everything He say not to do, you do. Not to make tattoos on a body, your body is full of tattoos. Not to touch drugs, all day drugs. Everything you do is against what God told you to do. So how can you claim you love Him? I can prove to you I love Him. I'm just a loser. I'm a very weak character. I'm a weak character. I have a very low willpower. I can prove it to you. I'm a heavy smoker. I smoke cigarettes. Every time I light a cigarette, I know I'm killing myself. I love myself very much. I don't want to die. If I had to pay $1 million to live another 5 years, I would do it, if I could. So the last thing I want is to damage myself or to kill myself younger. But you see that I'm a loser. I must have a cigarette or my drug or my needle. Everyone with his addiction. So that's a sign I hate myself? No. I can swear that I love myself very much. But I have a low willpower. I can't resist my desires. Just like an animal. A tiger sees something, he must attack. He's hungry, he has to attack. There's no way to convince him not to do it. So what do we see? A lot of the secular people, they're not really against the religion. They admit that that's the right way to live. I wish I can be like you. Brother, I'm proud of you. You became religious. בקרוב אצלי. I heard thousands say like this. I wish I could be like this. My brother became religious. Now what about you? I'm not strong like him. Come on, come to yeshiva 1 month. You change. It's not for me. I wish I could. Believe me, that's my dream. I remember when I was in Chicago, the last time I was there, I don't know, 2 years ago. There was one famous Israeli soccer player from Makkabi Haifa. The best team in Israel. They have a fancy stadium, 50,000 fans. They play in Europe. They made it. His name, doesn't matter the name, but very famous. Everyone knows him in Israel. He had an injury in his hip. Something in his bone, in the hip, moved. Happened to him a few years before. It wasn't serious. Now it became very serious. He's in a jeopardy to lose his career. That he cannot be a player. When I was in Chicago, I had to leave on Sunday. Sunday afternoon was my flight. The guy over there, there's a nice guy, Das Kiruv over there. He said to me, I have to go get kosher food to an Israeli soccer player in a hospital where he had the surgery. He has, crutches. Yeah. So, and the airport, and the hospital is attached to the airport. O'Hara Airport over there in Chicago. Next to it, next to it was the hotel. The hotel was right next to the airport. He's with his wife over there. If I'm coming to give them kosher food, maybe you come with me, speak to them for half an hour. I say, why not? It's next to the airport. I went. I saw a very nice guy, very humble, beautiful personality. But his wife, she said to me, my dream, I'll never forget that. My dream is that my husband will be an Avrech. That's her words. He's a famous soccer player. Everyone's wait online to get his autograph. 50,000 people scream when he scores a goal. She has money thanks to his career. She said to me, if it was up to me, I would rather him sit in yeshiva and learn Torah all day. And they're totally secular. This is a secular couple. If you look at them without talking to them, what do you think? They probably also hate the religion. They're probably also anti. No. He said to me, there's no question in my mind that as soon as my career will end, I'll become fanatically religious. Hopefully I'll make it. A lot of people plan one day to be religious and they're no longer with us. No longer with us. Some people miss the train. Nobody guarantees that you wake up tomorrow morning. As you can see what's happening today in the world. Just, I think today they killed one Jew in California in a demonstration. The megaphone, they hit him on the head. These Muslim Nazis. Someone hit him with a megaphone on his head until he killed him. A man in his 60s. Today he became a liferisk to walk with an Israeli flag anywhere you go. Here in Brooklyn. You have to be super brave or super stupid to walk or to put a flag on your car. If you're lucky, they'll burn your car or break the glass. And if you're not so lucky, they'll burn you. Dangerous. Dangerous to leave a black hat in a car. Dangerous to leave books with Hebrew. Dangerous to put any stickers pro-Israel, pro-Torah, pro-Judaism. Dangerous. Really, no joke. Everyone who can get a permit for gun, it's almost an obligation to do it. If the anti-Semite Nazis around us, every block here, will know that when they abuse us and they come to attack, they're going to get a bullet to their head, they'll think a million times before they start. Because a lot of them are cowards. They're good on a screen to hide behind fake identity and to spread Nazi propaganda. But face to face, they're not so courage. They don't have the courage. If someone will come to attack, once or twice they get a gun to their head and a bullet for self-defense, they will think a million times before they talk to a Jew next time. We cannot go back to the days of Germany that Jews stood online waiting to go into the gas chambers, waiting in a line. There's no such thing. That's it. We cannot afford to go. Of course, whatever Hashem wants, that's what's going to happen. If we need to die, we will die. But if we die with the fight. Dying with the fight may save the life of others. So, Rabotai, everything I told you until now started in a parasha we read on Shabbat. Parashat Vayera. One critical thing changed the entire world forever. The world will never be the same. What happened? Avraham took Hagar and had a boy with her named Ishmael. The Zohar said that oi, meaning crying, oi to the nation of Israel for the day that Ishmael was born and was circumcised. How much we are going to suffer from this monster, because the Torah call him a monster. God that made him, Ishmael, pere Adam, a wild beast, yado bakol v'yad kolbo. Everything in the world, he has a piece in it. Do you think it's an accurate statement? Do you know one item in the world that the Arabs don't have a share in it? Show me one. Name it. This book, in Hebrew, holy book. The Arab has a share in it. How do they make it? With oil. The factory needs oil. They take wood, they peel them, they grind them, they make paper. Every book in the world, the Arab has a piece in it. Every airplane, they have a piece in it. Every car, they have a piece in it. Every road, they have a piece in it. Tissue, they have a piece in it. Plastic chairs, everything. Cameras, electric, how they create it. All oil. Hashem gave them oil. Almost all the oil in the world is in their hands. And look how the oil doesn't end. Logically, the oil should have ended at one point. Billions of people consume oil, few liters every day. How much oil is in the ground? Miracle. It keeps producing oil. No one knows where they come from. How much oil? It's like the sun. Thousands of years and the temperature did not go down. If any, it goes up. And there is no wood to burn to create fire by the sun. It's a big mystery. It's a constant renewal energy. What revives it every second for thousands of years? Hashem. Scientifically, can you explain such a thing? No. It's against the law of science. Every source of energy needs to eat something. It has to consume something to create fire. Fire is not made by itself forever and ever and ever. Where is the source of energy? The answer, the creator of the world. One word he said. Sun has to serve the planet, the earth. That's it. And by the way, where was the earth placed? The space is endless. Endless. Infinite. You had endless amount of options where to place the earth in space. Here. Forever and ever. There is endless amount of options. Billions and trillions and hundreds of trillions options and it's not even the beginning. It's for endless space. You can put the space anywhere. In millions of years, you won't finish to count the possibilities. So out of hundreds of billions and trillions of options, there is only one option that can create life on a planet. One out of hundreds and billions of trillions of options. Statistically, there's not even a hypothetical option. The earth could have been placed only in one place in order for people and animals to survive and to have life. And that's how it was made. The earth was placed in the exact place in relation to the sun and the moon and the stars, in the exact place that can create life. If it would be anywhere else, you either burn to death in a second or freeze to death in a second. If you be too far from the sun, you freeze to death. Too close to the sun, 500 degrees, you get burned. Everything get dried. So there was only one option for the Creator where to put the life. And that's where it was placed. And there are some fools who say it was random. Few explosions and everything was made by itself. How stupid it sounds. All of you are smiling. Even those who are not religious smiling. Of course, everyone knows it's super stupid to even say it. You have to be really brave or dumb to say that the world was made by a random explosion or a bunch of them. Not one person believed this nonsense, unless he's totally crazy in his head. So how come the greatest professors today in Harvard and Yale and Columbia sell us this garbage? And they even write books about it, and there are enough dumb customers to order it online? What is going on over here? Why the whole world cooperate with this scam? Not one person in the world would claim that this little 1 penny plastic cup was made by itself. Find one person in the whole world that will come and say this was made by an explosion in a garbage can in Coney Island. Wow, look what came out. Look at the lines, how they parallel. How it's mamash unbelievable. It's standing, the bottom is straight, it's not crooked, it's not shaking. It was made by an explosion. I walked in Coney Island. There was some energy in a garbage can. Explosion, and a cup fell right into my hand next to the water of bottle of water. Mamash perfect. If I would claim such thing, I would be the comedian of the place. No, everyone would laugh at me. But to claim that the brain was made like that, that's no problem. The beautiful green eyes of the tiger connected to the brain and the nerve system, that was made by an explosion. Diamonds were made by explosions, and eagles were made by explosions, and all the galaxies who moves in beautiful circles, everything is random. So many trillions of explosions who created such an unbelievable creation with trees and apples and oranges and all kinds of papayas. What do you think? Do you really believe there's one person in the world believe this nonsense? I put my life on it. You don't have one. Connect him to a lie detector. Say, if you believe that the world was made by an explosion, you get $1 million. If now we kill you. Sit. We connect the lie detector. Now one person would sit down. Why? $1 million. Pass the test, get $1 million cash in a suitcase waiting. I know I'll die. Because I really don't believe that nonsense. I believe in one God and one Creator. So why everyone created such a scam? That's the easy way out. What you expect? That I will admit that there is a God and He gave us the Torah and there is life after death and there are righteous and wicked options and I'm wicked and you want me to sign on it? How can I live with my conscience? Admitting that I live every minute of my life rebelling against my Maker, who revived me constantly by giving me oxygen and food and money and children and everything I have. It's very, very hard burden to live when every second you are reminded what an ungrateful beast you are. Who wants to live in such guilty feelings. Yesterday I had a nurse in my lecture. She worked in head trauma. You know, people who get hit by cars, the head, sometimes they go to coma, all kinds of damages in the head. Sometimes they get out of it, sometimes they have to die. Sometimes it's brain dead. I asked her, this girl wants to convert to Judaism. I asked her if they have to sometimes disconnect the machines from people that their family wants them dead. They're tired of coming to the hospital. He's brain dead, that's it. He's laying in the hospital. Oh, he's going to lay there 20 years now, in a coma. Some family, especially if it's an old person, and the hospital is the first one who wants to get rid of them. Every day they catch a bed there, it's a problem. So they want to just disconnect for a minute, then plug back in. No one will ever know. The question is, who does it? Who does it? The doctors? The nurses? They're looking for volunteers to kill these patients? If I would work in that hospital, forget about religion, not knowing what I know about the soul, about the afterlife, about the judgment for someone who does it, not knowing anything about religion, just out of common sense, someone would come to tell me, we're looking for volunteer. To do what? There's a man in a coma here. We're looking for volunteer to disconnect the hose for 2 minutes until you hear toot. You're looking for volunteer? Call your grandma to do it. Why you came to me? You look like a brave guy. No, not for me. No, we forgot to tell you, we also will pay you for that. How much? $100. Some fools will run to do it for $100. No. Okay, 1,000. No. 5,000. No. 20,000. No. Okay, you know what? $100,000. Disconnect him. Will you do it or no? The Yetzer Hara will tell you, come on, hurry. Don't be fanatic. Anyway, suffer. You're doing him a favor. What's better, to lay here for 5 years? 7 years? You're doing him a favor. And you get paid for it, $100,000? You should be dancing. You did such a noble mitzvah. Plus you get $100,000. It's a good argument, no? Who in a hospital does it?
The hospital itself.
The building? They have special doctors for it. So I want to tell you something.
It's called palliative care.
In Israel, they had a vote. They wanted to pass a law that doctors that see that there is no hope for a patient will be allowed to kill them by disconnect them from the machines. And the government was for it. It will save money. You know, in Israel, the medical, it's sponsored by the government, like in Canada. You know? So what happened? The doctor, secular doctor, not religious at all, got up. Usually all these doctors are lefty, big time. So we have to assume that he was a lefty. He got up and he gave a speech. What was his speech? He said, and he was the head of the doctors, meaning he has influence. He said, I'm totally against this law. It will be a disaster for the future of the state of Israel. People were surprised. You, out of everyone, are against the law? The religious people are against the law, okay. But why you? Why a doctor like you don't want to get rid of all these people that don't have hope to get out of the hospital healthy? Why do you care to kill them? You're doing them a favor. It's called hamatat chesed, a kind death. Meaning I'm doing you a favor that I'm choking you. So you know what he said? He said, everyone who goes to medical school go with the one purpose, to save life. If you want to be, well, in America you cannot say it. But in Israel you can say it. Why? Because doctors don't make a lot of money in Israel. Not a lot. At all. It's a very stressful job. half of the time you have to take care of terrorists, of murderers, of all kinds of wicked people that go against God. You have to help them and save their life. And you're not getting paid that much. That's why all the Israeli doctors come to America. Over here they make 20, 30 times more every year. And that's why almost all the doctors in Israel are all Arabs now. And that's why some of those Arab doctors on their Facebook page call for jihad. In the morning he come to operate on your head. In the afternoon he said that to the Jews. How much you trust him to save you? In the middle of the operation, all he has to do is to move one vein. Pinch it a little bit. One drop of blood will come out of your brain and you're done. Either you're paralyzed or you're dead. Would you want the Arab to operate on your brain when yesterday he announced on his Facebook page to the whole world, how did he say? Thanks a lot, Hamas. Your holy martyr, shaheeds. It's time for jihad. You taught the Jews a good lesson. In the morning he has to show up in the hospital and take care of Jews. I wonder how wonderful he takes care of them. That's the stupidity of these Israelis. 1 minute they get butchered by these monsters, a minute later they run to take care of them. It's against the Torah. The Torah gives no permission to have mercy on the evil. It's against God's law. You cannot have mercy on the wicked. You're not allowed to do act of kindness to the wicked. You're not allowed to love them. You're not allowed to socialize with them. You're not allowed to marry them. You're not allowed to do anything with them. Not to be even in the same room with them. Not to shake their hands and not to look in their face. That's the divine laws. Stay away from evil. Stay away from wicked. Enough with this hypocrisy. When the Prime Minister of Israel sued me in a court of Tel Aviv with the whole thing, it's a fake thing. Everything was already pre-decided by these traders. When we finished, there was a settlement. They already make the settlement for you. Nobody asks you what you want, of course. So my lawyer said to him, go shake his hand. I said, I rather die than shake his hand, this trader. He said, no, it will help, because the judge didn't decide the amount yet. The judge said it will be between this and that. But I need 7 to 10 days to decide. So the lawyer is thinking, let the liberal judge in Tel Aviv that kiss up to this trader, wicked prime minister, let the judge see that you surrender. You come, you shake his hand. The judge will say, oh, we made that rabbi go down on his knees. Now it's time for little mercy. We throw him a bone. We already turned him into a puppy dog. Look, he's coming down. He bowed down to this evil prime minister who was willing to give 53 billion to the HAMAS, to the Muslim brothers. He is the one who brought 20,000 terrorists from Gaza to work in all these kibbutzim. What you saw, it's all on him. He is the one who insisted to bring them to work in Israel. And they are the one who gave them all the information. Each house, who lives there, how many families, which door is broken. It came out. It came out. He insisted to let them in. The rest of the government didn't want to let them in. Gaza, it's dangerous. There are other Arabs who are not such monsters. They're less brainwashed. Let's bring them, or let's bring Indians, Thailandians, Chinese. What do we need these murderers to come work in our houses? Any second they can slaughter you. You tell one American guy to bring one Hamas to work in his house construction, which when he doesn't have anything to do with him, he's not a Jew. He won't agree. Any normal American Christian would not agree to let them in. Only the stupid liberal Jews. Let them in. If they have money, maybe they'll kill us less. That's what he said, the prime minister. The clown. So Baruch Hashem, I didn't have to shake his hand. You're not allowed to look at his face. You want me to shake his hand? When you shake your hand to a wicked person, you know what happened to you? Your soul get an immediate damage. Why? Yud, Yud Dalet, and his Yud Dalet. Once two hands goes together, it becomes Yadid, friendship. Friendship is allowed in the Torah only with kosher people, not people that spits at your father every day. Someone that hug your father, you're allowed to be his friend. Someone who spits at your father every day and talk bad about him and pull him down, how do you want to shake his hand? How do you want to help him? That's a sign you hate your father. Someone spits at your father and you want to hug him. What does it show the world? That you hate your father. If you really love your father, you wouldn't let this guy come near you. Forget about shake his hands. The logic is very, very simple. All these generals and politicians, they are brainless. What don't you see? Hashem blinds them. Blind them completely. 100%. They just don't see. So, Rabotai, Avraham Avinu had a Brit Milah. He was 100 years old. Very hard. Even though people lived longer life back then. Avraham lived 175 years. Yitzchak lived 180 years. Yaakov 147. Yosef 110. Noach 950 years. Noach 4,200 years ago. Metushelach 967. Adam Arishon was supposed to live 1,000 years, but he passed at 930. Life was approximately 10 times longer than today, approximately, in average. Why is it that life is shorter now? Who knows why? Very simple. You want to go visit your parents to keep mitzvah kibud avaim. Your parents live in Queens, you live in Brooklyn. In how long you get there? Half an hour. In the old days, in the time of Noah, how long would it take to get from Brooklyn to Queens? Whole day. Not half an hour. It would take about 15 hours on a donkey. In between the trees, passing lakes, no light at night. You have to be careful. So you want to go visit your parents, 20 hours to get there, 20 hours to come back. Here you go, 2 days of your life are gone. Today, 1 hour. What you can do today in an hour, it took you 10 times at least in average longer to do. So since now everything is easy, and especially now with the technology, it saves so much time, there's no reason for life to be that long. Because in general, the idea is to have the same amount of tests. And since the world was very primitive back then, and things used to take a lot longer than today, then life was also a lot longer in general. But not for everyone. Some people still die young, just like today. Some people die very young. After Moshe Rabbeinu, it's set for 120 years of life. That's the longest. 120. If you live 120, that means you fulfill every possibility in your life. Full life. So Avraham Avinu is hurt now. He's sitting in Elonei Mamre. Avraham had 3 Goyish friends. 3 not Hebrews. There was no Judaism yet. Abraham is the first Hebrew. He had 3 Goyim friends. Eshkol, Aner, and Mamre. 3 Goyim. After Hashem said to Avraham, I want you to circumcise yourself and all your family and everyone, he came to inform his 3 friends and ask their opinion. He asked Eshkol, he said, in your age, to circumcise yourself, it's a life risk. If it was up to me, I wouldn't do it. Same thing the other one told him, Aner. Then he came to his 3rd friend, Mamre, and Mamre said to him, wow, you should be honored. If God told you to do it, what's your hesitation? You should jump to do it. That God saved you from the fire of Nimrod when he threw you into the furnace. What's easier, to save someone from a fire and keep him alive without any burn, or to save someone who cut a little piece from his body? There's no question here. So Avraham, as gratitude to Mamre, went to do the circumcision in his territory. Elonei Mamre. That's where Avraham did the Brit Milah. First question I have to ask, if Hashem told you to do something and you are the greatest legend, Avraham Avinu, with such high level of faith in God, why do you need to even go and ask your friends? What do you think? God told me to circumcise myself. What's your opinion? How relevant it is, my opinion. God told you to do it, that's it. Why are you asking? Why are you even informing me? And if Avraham really cared what his Goyish friends would tell him, he should have gone by the opinion of the two, the majority, right? You have 3 judges in a court. 2 say guilty, 1 say not guilty. You are guilty. That's how it is in Israel. They don't have jury. You know? In Israel, you have 3 judges. The postman and the teacher and the Uber driver will not decide if you're guilty or not. It's people that all their life were in a courtroom. At least if they were righteous and honest people, then it will be a great system. Problem is that they're all corrupted. All of them are extreme liberal lefties, extreme haters of religion, promote abomination more than you can imagine. And their personality traits are perhaps the worst in the country. I'm not talking about bribe and political agenda and corruption. Forget about that. That's you have all over the world. But there are things about these judges, if you look at them, how they run the thing, they don't even hide. They don't even try to hide that they take a side based on their political opinion. Nothing to do with the case. Nothing. You bring evidence, I don't trust it. What do you mean? It's a legal document. I have no time to go and check how reliable it is. Okay, let the other side show a document. It's not their obligation. Why one yes and why no? Because one has yarmulke, the other one doesn't. You tell me what to do in my courtroom? This is how it goes. Here in America, if the judge is an anti-Semite, he will do everything he can in a trial to hide it. He already knows who's going to go to jail, the Jew or the Goy. He already knows. He doesn't even care about all the evidence and what the people will claim and all the experts will come to testify. In his mind, I'm sending this Jew to 20 years. But in a court, he will play the show. Okay, please, let me see it. I will decide. You know, I already know a month ago that he's going to jail. But he put a show, but in Israel there's no more show. No more show. No, nobody can do anything to them. There's no supervision. And even if there is a supervisor, he's also a lefty liberal that hates religion. What is he going to do? Go against the judge? He thinks exactly like him. He can never find justice. Never. In a secular court, it's a crime to step in. If they force you to come because you are being sued, what can you do? But you should never voluntarily go into the courtroom. You're not allowed to put mezuzah over there. A rabbi that put mezuzah in Israeli secular court is a criminal. He goes against Hashem. Rav Ovadia Yosef has a long answer about the secular court and how wicked it is. Anyone that has to call this wicked liberal judge your Aner is a criminal. But you have no choice. If not, you go to jail. I will hold you in contempt. You cannot call the judge sir or mister. They get angry. So you have to call this lowlife, this wicked lowlife, you have to call him your Aner. I'm not allowed to step there. But I have to sue someone. Take him to Beit Din. You have 3 rabbis, kosher people, down to earth, no show off, looking at the evidence, and that's it. It's much cheaper, much faster, much more reliable. In the end, most people come out of rabbinical court with good feeling, even the side that lost. Because at least they know the judges were objective. They never took side. So, Rabotai, Avraham Avinu, the Rambam writes, the Rambam Avraham Avinu was now in the third day of his Brit Milah, and he's feeling very bad because the third day is the hardest day. And the Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Chama bar Chanina, Yom Shlishi lemilato haya. It's the third day. Ba Kadosh Baruch Hu to visit him. Hashem came on the third day to visit Avraham. But Avraham was busy looking for guests. Finally found guests, he didn't have time for Hashem. From here the Gemara say, the fact that God did not get angry at him, that he's paying attention more to strangers that he just met in the street, than to Hashem who came to visit him. From here we learn that it's very, very high level mitzvah to have guests, to bring them into your house, with some exception to the rule. If they are wicked people and they're going to make bad influence on your children, you're not allowed to bring them into your house. If they are not modest people and they're going to look at your wife and think all kinds of things about her, you're not allowed to bring them into the house. If it's people that constantly speak negative lashon hara and all kinds of liberal things come out of their mouth against religion, against the rabbis, you're not allowed to let them step into your house, even if they are your in-laws, even if it's your own brother. You're not allowed to bring them next to your family. Why are you jeopardizing the souls of your kids? Imagine now two gays, husband and husband, wants to sit in your Shabbos table. Kiruv! Maybe they become Shomer Shabbos. So they're going to come hold hands next to your religious kids from yeshiva. And the kids will look and they'll have a trauma for the next 30 years. The kids learn in yeshiva that it's abomination. That's why God killed all the people of Sodom, act of Sodom, homosexuality, stealing, this, that. All of a sudden, the father brings two of them in a table and they hug each other, look at each other. Oh, I love you so much. 50 years in yeshiva went down the drain in 1 minute, 1 hour. 1 hour. You bring someone full of tattoos. Maybe it's not his fault, that's how they raise him. What does he know? He didn't know it's not allowed. His entire body is full of tattoos. He sits in your table, no shirt, take off his shirt. The kids see that, they begin to ask questions. Hasidic kid. Excuse me, what's this? Why did you make a picture of this woman on your hand? Oh, she was my girlfriend. What was her name? Christina. Christina? You had a non-Jewish girlfriend? What a beautiful school your son just had from this guest. 1 hour conversation with him, everything he learned in yeshiva went down the drain. Do you know how dangerous it is to bring wicked people into your house? Even secular people have to think 1,000,000 times before they bring other secular people into the house. If they know someone is a suspect to be a pedophile, suspect. Police arrested him once or twice, they didn't find evidence. They let him go. You want him to sleep in the middle of the night when you have 3, 4 kids in the bedrooms over there? If you're a moron, bring him. But he wasn't found guilty. It doesn't mean he's innocent. There is 5% chance he's guilty. When do you want to wake up? After he will destroy your child's life? But it's not fair. In this country, you're innocent until found guilty. We didn't say he's guilty, but we have to suspect there is a chance that he's guilty. We don't know for sure. We don't hold him, we don't put him in prison, we don't charge him penalty, we don't publish to the whole world he's guilty. No. But if he comes to my house, it's a risk for my kids. I have to be stupid to bring him in. But he's your wife's brother. Oh. What do I care? What do we care? It's your own brother. What happens if he's a drug addict? For sure he's going to steal something from you. He needs heroin. Do you think he cares that you're his brother? He needs the drugs. He'll kill your mother for that. He needs now the drug in the next hour or two. That's all he thinks about. Shaking like this, pain all over the body. He saw a nice watch in a drawer. No question if he will take it or not. Does he want to take it? No. Does he feel guilty? Yes. Can he resist the temptation? No. He needs the drug. I'll give you millions of examples. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. There is no room for stupid liberalism in the Torah. There is an obligation for every human being, Jews and non-Jews, to be judgmental every minute of their life. Not like the stupid people here in this country. Don't be judgmental. I don't like it. You're too judgmental. Why I'm judgmental? Because you spoke against this, you spoke against that. I spoke. The creator of the world spoke against it. You know better than him? What does it mean, judgmental? If someone that looks dangerous walks behind me at 2 a.m. in the street of Manhattan, most likely it's nothing. Maybe he's in a rush. That's why he's trying to chase me. But it's not because of me. He wants to get to the train before the last train finished. There are two ways to look at it now. I give him the benefits of the doubt that he's running because he's trying to catch a train. The other option is running because he wants to mug me or who knows, or to kill me. I don't know. It's either that or that. Am I allowed to prepare my pepper spray ready for the minute that he will attack me and try to rob me, that I can spray in his face? If you say, of course, you must do it. You have to be alert. You're judgmental. Why he did it? Why? Because of the color of his skin? Because of his height? Because of the way he dressed? Because of his tattoos? Oh, you judged him as a criminal. But he looks like a criminal. Who decides how criminal looks? It's judgmental. Everything is judgmental. Everything is judgmental. Someone walk into Walmart and begin to put things in a bag. Like this, without checking prices. You know he's stealing. How do you know? Maybe he's planning to go to the register to pay. Why you call the security guy? You're so judgmental. You get the point or no? Enough with this hypocrisy. Enough. Just wake up and start using your head. Hashem gave us brain to use it, not to be stupid. It looks like the generals of the democracy, the fake democracy, hypnotize every mind here in this country. They do it through the colleges. You know what happened? The colleges hid from the government. Today they publish it. $143 billion in donations. 140. Where all these donations came from? From Qatar. The Arabs buy the universities. They give millions of dollars every month, donations. And that's why the management does nothing when they abuse Jews. Demonstration against Israel, against Jews. Now one word from any, not Harvard, not Yale, not Columbia, nothing. They don't say a word. They constantly attack them, condemn anti-Semitism. Jewish students are not safe. Now one word they don't say, of course. Qatar say, one word you're going to say against Hamas or pro-Israel, I cut all my donations. So what happened now? A lot of Jews also donate. The Jews do not donate because they want them to be anti-Arab. They donate because they are stupid. Because they think that universities do good things. They don't know they destroy the world. So they give them a lot of money. Now when the Jews see that they are so much against Jews, why am I giving them money? They want me dead. So some billionaires cut their donation. So some people felt very good. Oh, finally the liberal Jews are waking up. They stop giving money to Harvard, to these universities. Why? They go against their own people. What the Jews give them, it's peanuts compared to what they get from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Bahrain, and all these places. You don't understand the politics behind everything. They send messengers to there, we're going to call the building after your name, Sheikh Khalifa. The whole building. And you give us for research, and you give us, what does he care? He make $1 million a day, this guy. What does he care to give them 30, 40, 50 million? No problem for him. Plus he has American companies and investment, he's all tax deductible. He gives them the money, and we have a say in the Torah, Ba'al HaMe'ah u'Ba'al HaDe'ah. The owner of the 100 is the owner of the opinions. It's rhyme. Meaning the one who gives the money, take control. Nobody cares about the teacher and the principal or the rabbi or the prime minister. I give the money, I make the rules. Nobody say anything. Why? Try me. Don't agree to my demand, I cut all the budget. You know, some universities in the United States has more money in their saving than countries. There are countries in the world that do not have money on their reserve like the one university has. I saw once an article about it. I could not believe it. One university, I believe it was Harvard, they have enough money more than 26 countries. They named the countries. Meaning Harvard can buy the whole country now. Can go say, we want to buy all of you. We own the country. That's how much money they have. What do they need? They collect. And plus people pay tuition $100,000 a year. For what? Where's all this money going to go? To spread heresy all over the world. To rewrite the ideology of the world. To destroy the world. Look what's happened. Brainwash all the kids. Most of the kids are gays now. They don't know what they are. I want to change my sex. How old are you? 7. I feel I'm a girl. In my days, no boys felt like girls. How come every other kid now feel like it's a girl? The answer is because they brainwash his head from age 3. 4 or 5 years, all you hear about, choose what you like to be. Choose what you like to be? No, you're not really a boy. Right, you feel like a girl? Don't worry, we'll help you, but my parents will be very upset. Don't worry, we'll call 911 for you. You can change your sex, but my father doesn't want, without his consent. They convinced them to do it. I had one here in the back room. His father brought him over here, wanted to do a surgery to become a woman. Sat here for hours after the lecture with him. When I saw no matter what common sense I talked to him, didn't help. Then I started to scare him to death. Started to tell him what's going to be his end. And he postponed the surgery, and then came COVID. They closed all the hospitals for a few months. They canceled all the surgeries. What happened with him in the end? Few months after I sat with him, he still did not do the operation. Once you do the operation, there's no return, that's it. And it's a problem, because once you become a woman, when you're originally a man, you lose both identities, because you're not a man and you're not a woman. What part in the shul you're going to go? Look like a woman. You're going to sit with a man? It's not allowed. You go with the women, they know you're a man. They don't feel comfortable. You go to the bathroom, you go where the women are, they scream, hey, you're a man. Well, just yesterday I saw your beard. What are you doing here in the bathroom next to me? You go to the men, what are you doing here? You're a woman. You come to the men's section? Hussein Obama made a bathroom for both kinds. Let's do a unisex bathroom. He was the one who decided that American army will pay for this surgery, meaning taxpayers will have to pay $300,000 for every man who wants to become a woman or vice versa. American people go and war, kill themselves to make $60,000 a year. Government will take $20,000 out of it, which they have no money to feed their children after that. And then they have to read in the newspaper that this $20,000 went for some psychos who decided to become women. I have to pay for it. It's against my will, it's against my ideology, it's against my agenda. Hussein Obama will force me to pay for the surgeries. That's called fake democracy. Fake democracy. They make fun of dictatorship. What's worse? If you have a good dictator that has a common sense and he controls the country, million times better than a bunch of corrupted idiots that every day make another stupid law and a country goes down the drain. This country used to be so great in the 70s. You went to public school, boys were on one side, girls were on the other side. They had a wall between them. All women were 100% modest. There was almost no divorce. There was almost no drug addicts. The worst drug was grass in the 70s. That's it. You didn't have 100,000 dying every month from drugs. Fentanyl, heroin, this, crack. Look how many hundreds of thousands are homeless in the streets, all drug addicts. They do all kinds of strange things in the streets of Los Angeles or in Manhattan. The United States in debt of $35 trillion. That means every American that is born with $75,000 debt. Right now, a baby in Maimonides was born. In his account, there's negative $75,000 in average. If you're born in Kuwait, you're born with a $20,000 positive. That's a nice, what a beautiful birth gift. 20,000 already the government owe you. Why? Yeah, it is what it is. So, Rabotai, let's listen to this. The Rambam said, someone who goes to visit the sick, you're going to visit a sick in a hospital. Are you allowed to sit on a bed? No. On a chair? No. On a bench? No. On a high range? No. What do? You dress modest. If you have talit, you put talit. And you stand over there and you pray that Hashem will have mercy on this sick person. This is the language of the Rambam. I want you to tell me what's strange. There's one word here that doesn't belong here. But you know, when the Rambam writes a word that doesn't belong there, that's the key word here. So Rambam is not us. Everything by him is super computerized. Listen to the words of the Rambam. הנכנס לבקר את החולה, someone who comes in to visit the sick, לא ישב, would not sit, לא על גבי מיטה, not on a bed, ולא על גבי כיסא, not on a chair, ולא על גבי ספסל, not on a bench, ולא על גבי מקום גבוה, on a high place, they don't sit over there also, ולא למעלה ממרשותיו, not behind his head. If the head is there, don't go around the head. Be in front, that you can see his face. אלא מתעטף, you cover yourself, ויושב למטה מרשותיו. Before his head, not after. ומבקש עליו רחמים, asking mercy on him, ויוצא, and go out. Which word in the language of the Rambam, it's a little bit strange, and we will understand why in a minute. Which word doesn't belong here? Huh? Soon you're going to understand why you need to be mitatef. Why would you need to put talit when you go to visit the sick? So I will already tell you the secret here, but then you have to tell me what word is not necessary here. The secret is that every sick person, God is there to visit him. So that means the Shekhinah is in a room. When Sefer Torah is out of the ark, nobody sits, everyone rises. The Shekhinah is higher than Sefer Torah. The Spirit of God is in a room. You sit, it's disrespect. So stand. We got that point. So you have to ask mercy on him, not just bring chocolate or flowers. Ask for mercy on him and go out. I'll help you out. The sushi made you numb a little bit today. Why does the Rambam have to write veyotze? It's obvious. Where is he? He's going to live there? What, he moved into the hospital? Do all of that and go. I got the point. You have to tell me what to do in a room when the Shekhinah is there, when a sick person is there. Come, don't sit, put talit, pray for him for mercy, and that's it. I got the point. Don't go above his head, be by his feet. You told me all these rules. Why do you have to tell me after all of that, go? Go is the most important thing here. Veyotze. Some people are such nudnik that it's a punishment for the sick person when they come to visit. They talk and talk and talk. Say, oh, save me from that nightmare. Do it short to the point. Maximum 10 minutes. I came, I stood, I prayed for you, I prayed for mercy. Hashem will bless you. If you're a rabbi, give him Mishaberach. And go. Don't sit there all day. Maybe he wants to do things that is not comfortable next to you. Maybe he's tired, he wants to sleep. Maybe they serve him just the food and he's not comfortable eating in front of you when you talk. You know, these people who talk. Even when you talk, they continue to talk. Sometimes I think it's my WhatsApp. I talk and the person continue to talk. In life, you have to know when to stay and when to leave. When to stay and when to leave. To leave, it's a part of visiting the sick. To know when to leave. You know, I went to visit a sick person in Westchester Hospital yesterday. A guy in Muncie got hit by a car on his bike, injured in his head. He had a very big miracle, Baruch Hashem, he's unconscious, he's okay. His head is swollen, stitches, but Baruch Hashem, nothing serious happened in the end. And you know, they don't allow more than 2 people in a room. When I got there, the mother and the sister came from Israel, they were there. So I had to wait outside that one of them will come out and I can go in. So the sister went out, I went in. Then the uncle came, he didn't know, so he came in. We were 3, they say, if next time you'll be with 3 people in a room, we'll call security. Right to the point. No warning. That was the warning. Next time I call security. You're not allowed more than 2. And it's very interesting because now they're very tight on security. I guess they had some incident that people that were not supposed to enter the room in a hospital came in with no permission. It used to be you walk into any room you want. Now you have to give your ID, they give you a label, you put it on your jacket, you have to pass by a guard. Yeah, they take a picture of you by their computer. Why? If someone will choke him, they'll know who was the last visitor. I guess things like this happen. Tov, the Rambam explained to us how you visit the sick. We still have to understand where the Rambam learned what he said from. Where did he learn it from? The answer, Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, page 12. הנכנס לבקר את החולה, the Gemara say it. לא יושב על גבי מיטה, על גבי כיסא, מתעטב, יושב לפניו, מפני שהשכינה למעלה מראשותיו של החולה. Where is Hashem? Close to the head, above the head. שנאמר, it's written in Psalms 41 verse 4, השם יסעדנו על ערש דווי. Yisadenu means Saad. Saad means kindness, help, social help. Hashem is helping the sick, the injured. The Gemara didn't say Veyotze. The Rambam added one more word to the quotation of the Gemara. Right? The answer is exactly as I told you. In time of the Gemara, it was obvious. I want to show you something very interesting. You know, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai lived 2,000 years ago. He wrote the Zohar, the Kabbalah. It's written in Avot de Rabbi Natan, Pirkei Avot, chapter 41. Rashbi, one of the greatest, holiest people in the history of the world, top 10. Top 10. Who are the top 10 people that ever lived on earth? Top 10. Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabbi Akiva, David HaMelech, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. That's guarantee. 4. Who else? Avraham Avinu, Yitzchak and Yaakov, Yosef. It's already 7 guarantee, without argument. Who are the other 3? Aaron HaKohen, so it's 8. 8. Give me 2 more. Now it's getting hard. There are many candidates. Maybe Eliyahu Navi, maybe it's Pinchas, it's the same one. Maybe any one of the prophets, Maybe Shmuel, that it's written that is equal like Moshe and Aaron combined. I would say Shmuel is the 9th one. The 10th one, it's going to be very hard to know. Maybe Mordechai Yehudi, save the whole nation of Israel. Who knows? It's hard to know. But those, at least the first 8, there's no one would argue. The last 2, you can have 50 or 100 candidates, and each one of them will make sense. We are talking now there are a lot of other great legend holy people. Why I didn't mention them? Because it's derogatory comment about them, like Shlomo. The last sentence about his life, Vayas hara be'enei Hashem. And he did what's bad in the eyes of God. That's already a problem. It doesn't mean he's not one of the top 10. Only Hashem knows. But there is a derogatory mark in your credit report. Anybody else, the credit is pretty clean. I guess maybe you can argue the same thing with David HaMelech. There's also an incident with him. You can say the same thing about Moshe. He didn't get into Israel because he made few mistakes. You can say the same thing about Aaron. He was punished in May Merivah, he didn't enter Israel. You can say about Avraham Avinu, who brought Ishmael to the world. Look how much the world is suffering because of that. You can say the same thing about Yitzchak. He brought Esav to the world, the Nazis, the Romans. You can say about Yosef the same thing. There are a few incidents with him. Bottom line, you won't find someone that is perfectly perfect. Do you know why? You know why or no? Because only Hashem is perfect. But you brought up something interesting. Amram, the Gemara says, never committed one sin. Avraham did not commit one sin. But Amram also has something about him. Divorced his wife, didn't want to have kids. His daughter Miriam corrected him, gave him musar. You can say Ishai, the father of David HaMelech, the Gemara says he never committed any sin in his entire life. But what kind of a father throw his holiest son into the mountains to be a shepherd? Go. Don't be nearby. To the point that David HaMelech, when he wrote Tehillim, we sing in the Hallel, Ani avdecha ben amatecha, not ben avdecha. His father is the greatest person in the world, Ishai, that the Gemara said never committed one sin. David, instead of presenting himself, David, son of Amram, of Ishai, the greatest person in the world, he rather writes, Ani avdecha, son of your, of who? Nitzevet bat Adael. Amatecha. Ama means a female servant. My father is a male servant, Ishai, avdecha. I don't include him. I excluded him. Who do I name after? My mother. Since when a person named after his mother? It's always after the father. The answer is the only one who never turned her back on him was his mother. And gratefulness is a very important foundation in life. In Judaism, it depends on everything. If you're not grateful, that's why even though we, the ultra-Orthodox people, if we can be called like that, unfortunately we not always deserve the title, but assume we are ultra-Orthodox people, we have to stay away from everything wicked. Regardless, civilians, soldiers, politicians, male, female, Jews, non-Jews, doesn't matter. We must stay away. Yishamer mikol davar ra. We have to stay away from chilulei Shabbat, from avodah zarah, from homosexuality, from corruption, from stealing, from heresy. We must isolate ourselves from every evil. ישמר לך מכל דבר רע. Hashem warned us many times. וביערת הרע מקרבך. You must clean out all the evil from among you. Your territory has to be holy. והיה מחנך קדוש. Do not dare to break the fences of the holiness of Hashem. If you will, I will go away from there. I won't be there to protect you. I won't live among you, among your community. And when I would leave you, the HAMAS will show up at 6 a.m. and you will see what happened. Why will I leave you? Because you dance naked, full of drugs, around a huge Budha on Shabbat of Simchat Torah. No respect for Hashem, no respect for the Torah, no respect for Shabbat, no respect for kosher food. Drugs, naked men, naked women, mix of Jews and Goyim, terrible music of Goyim, loud. On Simchat Torah, you dance around Budha. It's like the golden calf. Until today, we suffer from 3,000 years ago, the golden calf sin, 3,300 years ago. Till today, the Gemara says, every generation, Hashem gives us a part of the punishment. He divided to us to every generation. 3,300 years we suffer from that dance. What they did over there is almost as bad. Not as bad, almost as bad. You know why almost? I tell you the difference. The people over there that dance around the golden calf, 40 days before that, they heard the voice of God. 40 days. Only 40 days passed. They heard the voice of God in Mount Sinai. They heard the first 2 commandments. Moshe went up to the mountain. He came down on 17 B'Tammuz, which is exactly 40 days after Shavuot. He saw they dancing around the golden calf and broke the commandment. 40 days! You already forgot you heard the voice of God in Mount Sinai with fire and everything was shaking. Now you're dancing around an idol? A golden idol? Disaster. The people that dance around Buddha, I promise you, half of them don't even know who it was. They see a huge statue. Probably they have no idea. And those who knew who it was, they were so drugged up that if you ask them the next day if there would not be an attack, what was above the DJ when all of you looked the entire party, you won't even know. You know, when you take a lot of drugs, you don't remember. Alcohol, drugs. I don't suspect one of the people over there that they went to dance for the sake of idol worshipping. They didn't go there because of the Buddha statue. It happened to be there. Those who organized the party, they were filthy enough to bring such a huge idol and put it over there in Simchat Torah. Just because 1 or 2 or 5 wicked people decided to do it, doesn't mean that every person who danced there really cared about it. Do you think the party would be any better or any less better if there would not be that statue? Who cares about it? They came to dance, take drugs, and to do other things in the tents over there. That's why they do these parties to begin with. But there are other problems. Chilul Shabbat is death penalty by stoning, just like idol worshipping, not less. That's what the Torah says. And it's a permanent cut for the soul in the afterlife. I cut that soul from eternity. He loses his eternity. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai went to the hospital to visit a person. He had stomach issues, screaming from pain, screaming. Worse than Crohn's disease. Some people have Crohn's disease, they have an attack, you see how they suffer. This person screamed loud. Because he's in so much pain, he started to curse. To curse. Rashbi said to him, watch your mouth. The greatest person in the world, standing in his room, and he cursed next to the rabbi. If you already decide to scream, at least scream to Hashem to save you. What are you cursing? What do you think the man answered him? If you be in a hospital in Tel Aviv, And Rav Ovadia Yosef Zatzal walked in to visit you. Shalom, my son, I heard you suffering. I came to give you bracha and to pray for you. You begin to curse. And the rabbi said to you, hey, watch your mouth. Instead of cursing, scream to Hashem. Express your pain and ask for mercy. After the rabbi rebuked you, what would be your answer? If you're normal, say, you're right, I'm sorry, I'm just suffering so much. If you're evil, you would answer even worse, more harsh. What's this low life said? Rabbi, I wish you to have what I have. That's what he told Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Who said that arrogant people is only in this generation? This was 2,000 years ago. You know what Rashbi answered? What would you answer? You came all the way to visit this stranger, and he's wishing you to have the same disease like he has. Rashbi say, I deserve this. Why I deserve this? Let's see who's clever here. Huh? Bitul Torah. What a fool I am, he said to himself. I left the Holy Torah, millions of mitzvot every day to come visit his low life. Rashbi say, I deserve this. משום שעזבתי דברי תורה ועסקתי בדברים בטלים. I replaced the Torah with garbage, דברים בטלים. Worthless things. Worthless! What do you mean worthless? It's written that everyone who comes to visit the sick, it's like visiting Hashem, because Hashem is there. Gadol, it's something very big. But if I come and say to you, my friend, I got you an unbelievable gift. A big gold coin. Precious. It's 1 ounce. Just the gold worth $2,000. Forget about the coin, the special. Wow, you can sell it for $5,000. Great gift, no? But the next day you came with a 10-carat blue diamond worth $10 million. What? Look what a gift I got for you. Ma, it's for me? Yeah, here. From the minute he got the diamond, he looks at the gold coin. Can you take your coin back? It's too much room. You catch in a drawer. What do you mean? Take it. You can give it to someone else. Yesterday you kissed my hand when I gave you $2,000 gift, $5,000. You were dancing. Wow, how did you do such thing for me? Now I gave you a $10 million diamond. You want to throw back the $2,000 in my face? Give it to someone else? Give it to the driver. Give it to the guard here in a hospital. Tip. What happened? It became a tip, a tissue. What happened? Everything in life has a value which is determined in comparison to everything around. There is no fixed value. The value is changing based on what's around at this given moment. Right now, there are plenty of water in the world. A bottle of water costs $2. That's it. Plenty. You can go buy 20 now in a store. It costs any store. Imagine now, they shut the water, like in Gaza now. No water and barely no electric and almost no internet. Medicine is missing. I know a lot of diabetics. They need pills. They need that. It's very hard now to get. What do you think happened now? How much would be a bottle of water like this in Gaza? 2 months ago, it was 6 shekel, 5 shekel. In Gaza less, 3 shekel. Now probably 30 shekel. Another week or two like that will probably cost 100 shekel for a bottle. People will kill for a bottle of water. Why? There's no water. The value of the water went up. COVID came. 20,000 Jews died. 20,000 Jews died. COVID was about to end. The prices in tefillin and mezuzot in Israel went up to double. Tefillin that used to be 700 went up to 1,400. My cost. Tefillin that was 1,000 became 1980. Why? 20,000 people died. Every one of them has a son or two that wants to do Achnasat Sefer Torah. They order a few thousand Sifrei Torah. Sefer Torah is between 1 and 2 years to write. Every sofer who used to write Tefillin and Mezuzot left it and took the Sefer Torah. It's a job for over a year. Don't have to worry about finding customers. That's it. You cover your entire year. Every sofer, can I order from you Tefillin? No, I'm busy with Sefer Torah. Can I buy from you Mezuzot? Sefer Torah. Can I? Much less sofrim. Everyone has 50 Mezuzot that he wrote this month and 50 people waiting online to buy. So he increased the price every day. Another 50 shekel, another 50, another 100, another 100. And still people are coming. Became double. But everything else became double. The cloth that they write on, the parchments, became double. The cover became double. Ink, everything became double. Do you know how much they charge here for one case of mezuzah here in a Judaica store? Between $30 to $100. 30 is the cheap ones. Aluminum, plastic. $30 to $100 for one box. In Israel, it's half a price. Everything in life is depend on how much it's available. If the world will be flooded with diamonds, prices of diamonds will be very, very cheap. Prices of diamonds is going down now. Why? There is lab diamonds, plenty. They cost a quarter of the price. And they much better look. They look much better, clean. They make it in a lab. There's no dirt inside. Why? But it's easier to make. They make it in a lab. They don't have to dig a hole 200 meters in the ground and look for diamonds. So bottom line, the Gemara say the day the Babylonians burned the Bet HaMikdash, they started on the 7th of Av, and on Tisha B'Av, the Bet HaMikdash was burning. But before they burned Bet HaMikdash, they took out all the gold. Bet HaMikdash was packed with gold. The price of gold in the markets in the world that day went down 50%. All over the world. Because there was so much gold that they took out of Bet HaMikdash. You can make thousands of bracelets and necklaces and anything you can think of. Tens of thousands. The market is now receiving a huge boost of gold. In Israel, gas prices was very high until they found that well. Produce gas, $1 billion a year profit. Gas prices went down, like everything else in life. In Israel, they made a machine now, clean the salt out of the ocean water. Goes in salty water, comes out clean water. You don't depend on rain anymore. Who can tell me how it's affecting the Torah, what I just told you?
One of the punishments for not listening is there won't be rain.
Beautiful. Hashem gave up on us. He gave up on us. In the old days, when we don't behave, Hashem stopped the rain. No rain, we're going to die. So everybody started to scream, to fast. Rain was a stick to educate us to be righteous. We say it in Kriyat Shema 3 times a day. ועצר את השמיים ולא יהיה מטר והאדמה לא תיתן את יבולה ועבדתם מהרה מעל הארץ הטובה אשר השם נותן לכם. 4 steps. First, I stop the heavens. No rain. ולא יהיה מטר. There will not be any rain. That's 2. והאדמה לא תיתן את יבולה. Nothing will grow. No grass, no plants, no vegetables, no fruits, no trees. Everything dying. והאדמה לא תיתן את יבולה. The land will not give any produce. ועבדתם, and you will be lost from the face of the earth. So when we see 2, 3, 4 months no rain, what happened? People fast, wearing sack, going to the rabbis, praying together. Look at the Gemara in Masechet Ta'anit. The Gemara describes how Hashem used to stop the rain, and now you don't need rain. You have a machine. Press a button, 5,000 liters of water comes out. Delicious, delicious, sweet. So what happened? Hashem cannot threaten us anymore. ועצר את השמיים. תעצור את השמיים. Not so simple. Do you know how difficult it is to give water to all the areas when there's no rain? You need sprinkle systems. They break. You need to fix it. Wow, there's a lot of headache. The machines. It's a big headache. When it's raining, nice. You go to sleep, you wake up in the morning, everything is beautiful, growing nice. Became all green. It's not the same. Yes, there's no liferisk right now like it used to be. Today, you could, before we invented that machine, you can buy water from Turkey. They send you a few huge boats, millions of bottles of water. You buy it from Turkey, and you have water for the next 3 months in Israel, until the next rain. Also, the same. A woman